Killer think he got away, but doesn't know a 4-year-old saw everything. The Dameon Huffman case. Huffman Puffman had that.
You see blood at?
On the pillows and the cups and on the bed. No.
That little boy country in the mind, on the pillows, on the coffee pot, and on the bed.
I started crying, but I tried to call 911. Ran here.
You ran?
As fast as I could.
The boy you just heard is 4-year-old Dameon Huffman. Just 1 hour before this police interview was recorded, Dameon was living a quiet, happy life with his grandparents in rural Ohio. Raised by them since birth, Dameon was their whole world, and they were his. But on March 27, 2003, everything changed when Dameon showed up
smart
at the
as
front door
hell.
of his daycare alone, covered in blood.
911, your emergency.
He said his grandparents are military and they have blood all over them.
No one knew what to make of those words until investigators went and checked on his grandparents.
Oh, nigga, just imagine being that 4-year-old, because he definitely gonna remember this shit. Like, he gonna get older and be like, yeah, I see my grandparents melting with blood all over them. And then that kind of made me panic a little, so I called the cops. At 4 years old, yeah, I did. At 4, I knew what I was doing. Brother. This motherfucker gonna be either gonna be hella good with life, content with life, or he gonna be traumatized as hell. That's crazy.
And saw both of them dead in their beds.
Amir,
with
you can
no
watch this, girl.
suspect And no clear motive. This murder in Ohio might have remained a mystery, if not for one clever 4-year-old boy who pretended to be sleeping and became the only
girl, I don't
living
know what it
witness.
is.
He saw something he shouldn't have, something that could solve the case, but could also cost him his life.
I turned 4 because I had my birthday already.
What do you remember?
The door opened.
Your bedroom door?
Yeah.
And who did you see?
It's 2003, in the quiet rural town of Bradford, Ohio. 4-year-old Dameon lives with his great-grandparents, Jack and Linda Myers, and his mother, Amber,
Hit him with
under
the
40.
Damn, socked in her shit with the
lives his
dookie paw.
great-grandparents, Jack and
Yeah, taste this. Yeah, what does my ass taste like? Yeah, you like that? Hit her with the dookie nugger.
Linda Myers,
Wow.
and his mother, Amber, on their 40-acre farm. Amber was just a teen when she had Dameon.
How do you like
in
the
late
smell of my
1990s.
ass?
So without hesitation, her grandparents Jack and Linda, still full of energy, opened their home to Amber and her new son. They gave her a place to stay and helped raise Dameon as their
Yeah,
own.
it just started.
When Dameon came along, he was just so precious.
You know, they loved him and they loved me enough to help me out, and so they helped me with him.
Jack and Linda had met later in life, blending their families when they got married in their 50s. Together, they ran a small pizza shop and quickly became pillars in their tight-knit community.
Yeah, that's one of them little small towns. Yep, where they had a Christmas parade. Yeah. It'd be a lot of weird shit going on. It'd be weird shit going on in the dark.
Community.
I was living with Grandma and Grandpa because them being the kind, loving people that they were, they took me in and cared for me and everything.
Oh, that's Dameon. That boy ain't country no more, goddammit. Well, shit.
Them being the kind, loving people that they were, they took me
Hey,
in
big
and
ass
cared
head.
for me and everything, and Mom would come and see me. We were always having fun, laughing, and just carrying on and whatnot.
Jack and Dameon were the best of friends. Jack would sit him on his lap and they'd be out there just driving around in the field, and Dameon thought that was the coolest thing ever.
Family meant everything to them. Their home was always full of kids, grandkids, and the smell of home-cooked food during frequent big family dinners.
Yeah,
The
them
farm
burgers
was
used
the
to
place that
hit.
everybody went and got together for all the family gatherings.
There's a Grandpa Jack at his best. Oh, that's Grandma. Hi, Grandma.
Hey there,
We all
Grandma.
had great family things that we did together.
We were all so close that you didn't put that.
Nigga, seeing all that shit like remind me of living in the country, bro, with my Gigi. Like everything they just showed, bro, we had that out there at one house, except for like a barn. We had like a barn too, but it was like a shed type barn. Damn, nigga, we was out there picking peas and shit. That shit wasn't fun at all, I ain't gonna lie. She had us out there picking peas and watermelons, slapping them motherfuckers to hear if it was hollow enough on the inside, for real. But I'm glad I did it though, for real.
Step parent or step.
You ain't never
son
picked a
into
wild
things.
tomato, nigga.
You know, we were all just.
You
really
haven't.
close. There was no reason to ever think that anything bad would go on there.
Life was good for the Myers. Amber, now an adult, recently got married and was able to live in her own home, finally gaining the financial stability to fully support Dameon by herself. The plan was clear. After Dameon finishes preschool, he'll officially move out to be with his mother, just 30 minutes away from Jack and Linda's farm, and start
Nah, for real, picking straight collard
On
greens.
March 27, 2003, things take a disturbing turn for the worse.
Washing them,
At
bitch.
9:15 a.m., a 911 dispatcher in Ohio receives an unusual call. On the other end, a preschool teacher frantically explains that a little boy has just arrived at daycare. He's alone, in his pajamas, and he's covered in blood.
Damn.
Emergency.
Little boy just ran in the front door.
How'd he get to the daycare?
Walked here.
How old is he?
He's 4.
Yeah, he got them legs like a bad kid. That's them kids that don't listen. I don't care. You be like, Jenny, get over here, Jimmy. Jimmy. You be like, nah. They do that shit. You gotta yank that little motherfucker up. Yeah, you gotta yank his ass up. He got them legs like he don't listen. I know a little badass when I see
How'd he
one.
get to the daycare?
Walked here.
He walk like he owns shit.
He's 4.
He's 4 years old. He walked there.
Yes, he did. And he said his grandparents are Americans,
Okay.
and they have blood all over them.
That's not a call we get every day.
That's
What could
crazy.
melting grandparents mean? Something was wrong.
The little boy is Dameon, who lives a mile down the road at the farm. The preschool teachers recognize him as one of their daycare students and fear something terrible must have happened for him to run all the way here on his own. Officers head straight to the Myers farm, but they have no idea what to expect, and no one knows yet what's happened to Dameon's family. Fearing
Damn.
the worst, and with a class full of children nearby, the dispatcher orders the teachers to go into full lockdown.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and lock your doors. Yeah, you don't want any of them kids outside.
Oh, my God.
We didn't know what we were dealing with. We didn't know if it was an injury or if it was an assault. Were there perpetrators at the...
Nigga, when somebody walked in that motherfucker and killed his motherfucking grandparents, cause he owed. It had to do with some money, bro. It had to do with some money. Somebody owed something. Somebody owed something. Somebody ain't paying, and somebody did a threat, and somebody did some killing, and somebody did some dying. That's exactly what it had to be, for real. It's the only other way. You said it's a new house? Yeah, I got a new spot. That's why it sound like, hey, 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 hey. I ain't got no furniture in this motherfucker right now, but I'm gonna get it though. She said, hey, YouTube. Hey, shout out to her. She said, hey, YouTube. Everybody say, hey, YouTube, because it's going straight on the UB.
the scene? I'm just assuming worst case scenario. What was first noticed was the front door of the house was standing wide open. We tactically entered the door where we
Oh, my mama, sound like I'm in the bathroom.
Anybody home? Anybody here? And there was still no response.
The house is quiet, too quiet. Guns drawn, the officers step through the front door, slowly making their way through the kitchen. Then, they push open the bedroom door. Their worst fears are confirmed when they discover two bodies on the bed, not moving, and covered in blood. They're identified as Jack and Linda, Dameon's grandparents.
They look like fucking cool-ass grandparents that eventually let you smoke in their house when you get older. Yeah. When you get older, they start telling you all the secrets and the fun that they had. He be at strip clubs and shit. You didn't even know Grandpa was like that. He used to sell dope and everything. She smokes with cigarettes. Yeah. She tell you about all the fun. She give you a little clear glass of some liquor and you drink it with her and she start talking. Damn, they look like fun grandparents. They ain't had to die, man. They got good dentures too.
I see that Jack was bleeding from the mouth and nose.
He had a gunshot wound to the back of his head.
I could see that he had suffered significant blood loss. I checked him for a carotid pulse. He obviously wasn't breathing, and I determined he was deceased. Linda has suffered a gunshot wound directly to the face.
Damn.
And also to the hand. They both felt a little bit warm to the touch.
She probably went like that.
Which tells me it hasn't been days that they've been deceased. It's probably more like hours.
Unsure if the killer might still be at the scene, officers quickly search the house, room by room. However, they confirm no one else is inside the home. The killer is still at large. Back at the daycare, Dameon was placed under the care and supervision of police. His safety is the top priority.
Where's this nigga parents at? What they say about them? They ain't dead, is they? Huh, chat? Because where the hell is his mom and his dad? Like, fuck. And he living with great grandparents. Where the hell is the grandparents? Oh, damn, let me find out the whole family fucked up.
Custody and police just beginning their investigation. Everyone is a suspect, even family. It's not safe to let Dameon out of their sight. Meanwhile, more officers arrive
It
at
better
Amber's
not be the
house
dad.
with the heartbreaking job of giving her the tragic news about what happened earlier in the day.
The detectives told me that they were no longer with us, and I was confused. I said, and Dameon too, because the way that they worded it made me think my son wasn't here either.
No, for real.
He was actually put in a protective custody status, and he was hidden from all of his family.
That nigga like a smooth ass potato. Whenever you take the shaver and you shave all the skin off, that nigga got a baked potato head. Like the whole head is baked potato. Like you take his head and turn it to the side. Right after you get done scraping that motherfucker, you dip it in the water to clean it off so you can cook it. Yeah, he got that boiled baked potato motherfucker. Whole head smooth. Oh my mama, then you don't grow no chin hair, no none of that. Yeah, baked potato.
Family members.
Not knowing where Dameon was or how he was feeling, there was nothing I could do. To comfort my son is the worst feeling in the world.
As Dameon remains hidden from his surviving family for his own protection, news of the sudden murders reaches the town and the surrounding Dark County, leaving everyone shocked. Nothing like this has ever happened here, and the residents are on edge, wanting answers.
The bodies of Jack Myers and his wife Linda were found murdered in this farmhouse near Gettysburg, both shot to death, execution style.
It's already made the news, and the people in the community think some monster's out there that is snuck into people's house and gonna kill them.
It probably is. Nigga, that got everybody scared. Nigga, they done killed Granny and them on top of the hill. Everybody fuck with Granny and Gramps. Huh? And they done went up there and killed them, and we don't know who the fuck did it. It's a small town. How y'all can't find them? Yeah, we thinking somebody jumping in the house taking our kids. Nigga, we scared to the motherfucker now.
And what
Go
actually
find
happened
him.
is a 4-year-old child, seemingly the only witness. But before sharing Dameon's side of the story, details from the crime scene and investigators are important to analyze. Initially considered a burglary gone wrong, this theory is quickly debunked after an initial review of the farm.
We found money around the house. We found purses, credit cards, checkbooks.
We found cash, we found electronics. Drawers had not been opened or looked into. Theft does not appear to be the immediate motive here.
Yeah, they
Whatever
came to
happened at
kill.
the Myers house isn't a random act of violence. It's a premeditated double homicide. It's personal.
It is not normal for a total stranger to just sneak into somebody's house overnight and murder somebody and walk out for no
Yeah.
apparent reason.
They definitely know
so
who
the
it is.
investigation is going to start to center around those that are closest to Jack and Linda.
However, none of the Myers' close connections turn up any promising leads. None of them, except for John. John is a longtime family friend and an outgoing next-door neighbor to the Myers.
He believed he had some information for us, reference to our investigation.
Oh, I thought they were going to say he did it.
Why don't we just start out with, you tell us what you know. Make a long story pretty much short. Well, me and him used to start off go hunting all the time.
Now me
and Greg Myers.
John seems suspicious of Greg Myers. Greg isn't just anyone. He's Jack's own son from his first marriage. However, everyone close to the family finds it hard to imagine Greg as a suspect. The 25-year-old had just been the best man at his father's wedding to Linda. He's polite, friendly, and spent a large amount of his childhood at the farm with his family.
Greg was the one that had been closest with his father for most.
It better not be Greg, because what the fuck? Why would you think it's Greg and he the closest one? Or he just like, I don't like your wife, Dad. Murder. What? Wait a minute, son. Shit.
Of his life.
Greg cared
It
for his
can't
dad
be
dearly.
Greg, man.
Didn't have no problems with anything about his dad.
With no criminal history, Greg is, by all accounts, the opposite of a typical suspect. With a family of his own and no known issues with any of the victims, he seems like the last.
Yeah, Fortnite, we about to get down. 10 kills on the board right now. Just wiped out Tomato Town.
Yeah, W's in the chat for that motherfucking tiddler. W's in the chat tiddling on my mama.
Person who would be involved in something as horrific as this. However unlikely a suspect he may seem, Greg is still brought into the station for questioning.
When Greg first came into the interview room,
meds.
he was acting like he was down or emotionally upset. Asked us for a trash can right away, said his stomach had been upset all day.
When asked about where he was at the time of his father and stepmother's murder, he provides a solid alibi. He was at work that morning, 30 miles away, even providing a stamped timesheet. Greg also wears shoes 2 sizes larger than the footprints found at the crime scene.
Yeah.
Throughout the interrogation, Greg is cooperative and expresses a strong
I'm gonna
desire.
say, nigga, he woozy and dizzy because, nigga, his dad just died and his stepmom. Murked something in the house. I'll be woozy, dizzy, fuck too. I'll be fucked up. Like, god damn, what? I'll be ready to go kill something, I ain't gonna lie.
To help, even enthusiastically offering to take a lie detector
But not
test.
anybody.
Police were even personally allowed to search his home.
Up to this point in the investigation, I mean, we had no information leading us to Greg.
Although the current evidence seems like a dead end, 4-year-old Dameon, the young boy who ran to get help on the day of the murders, still has his side of the story to tell.
Oh yeah,
Why don't you
you
tell
got
me what
Dameon.
your name is?
Dameon Huffman Myers.
How old are you, Dameon?
I turned 4 because I had my birthday already.
Okay.
Alrighty,
In
boy.
the early morning hours of March 27, 2003, Dameon woke up on his own. This was unusual, since normally his grandparents were there to get him ready for preschool. At only 4 years old, Dameon knew something wasn't right that morning. Worried he would be late for school, he made his...
Well, you know how smart you gotta be as a 4-year-old to see a murder, not freak out, wait, see who did it and whatever else you seen, and to know to call the cops and run down to the daycare and make it. That little motherfucker was smart. I mean, I remember doing, you know, some advanced shit at 4 years old, but bruh, and here, listen to how advanced he taught. Shit, bro, that shit crazy. It's like everything happened for a reason. He got sent to this family just because this shit was gonna happen regardless. And he was gonna be able to be the one that's crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying?
His way downstairs to check on his grandparents.
I ran downstairs and I went in the bedroom and I was trying to wake them up.
Were they just laying there in bed, or where were they at?
They was laying in bed, melted.
The
Melting.
horrifying scene was something no child should ever have to see.
That's
or even have the words
crazy.
to describe. To the young Dameon, the tragedy of his grandparents in front of him was impossible to make sense of. The only way he found to process
It make it even worse because he's so innocent, bro. And it's like he don't even know what death is. He just like they're melting because the blood dripping down. Like no, oh no, buddy, it's way deeper than melting, Bubba. Hopefully he was just too young for it to traumatize him, cause
process it was to assume his grandparents were melting. The words he spoke left the detectives stunned, having to take a few moments to collect their thoughts. As the full weight of what Dameon said began to settle in, the detectives knew what this meant.
You saw blood?
Yeah.
Okay, where did you see blood at?
On the pillows and the covers and on the bed.
The little
On
boy
the
grabbed the
bed.
tissue and attempted to tend to his
Goddamn,
grandfather's
Bubba.
injuries, but it was too late. Jack and Dameon were an inseparable duo, and Dameon knew his grandpa would never...
Jack and Dameon, bro, that sound perfect together. Jack and Dameon. Who you with? Just me and Jack? Who's with you, Jack? No, just me and Dameon. Jack and Dameon. That sound good. That even sound like a good ass like whiskey, and it tastes like Fireball a little bit. Jack and Dameon. Like, damn.
Never have given up on him. Neither would his grandma. Dameon decided to muster up his courage and do the same for his grandparents.
And then I started crying. I tried to call 911.
The little boy grabbed the phone tightly and dialed 911, but nothing happened. The line was dead, silent. As it turned out, the killer had cut the phone lines to make sure no one could call for help.
That motherfucker
Dameon
had
looked
this
around the room,
premeditated
trying to find
murder.
another solution to help his
Premeditated
family. Remembering his
murder.
daycare wasn't too far from the farm. He immediately headed out the front door and started to run. Over a mile down the road to his daycare, the one place he believed he
He
could find
accidentally
help.
called 911?
Ran here.
You ran?
As fast as I could.
With Dameon's
Hell
recounting
yeah.
of the story, there's an inconsistency in his retelling versus the evidence at the farm. In reality, blood was also found in Dameon's bedroom. Either the 4-year-old is misremembering the events of that morning, or there's more to the truth that he hasn't yet revealed. They come up with a different approach to go through everything again. Using a bit of ingenuity, they craft the layout of the farmhouse with a model home and dolls, hoping the props will help Dameon open up further.
They had little puppets of me and Grandma and Grandpa. I showed them what I did and what had happened.
As Dameon acts out his movements around the house that morning, he reveals that, while he was asleep in his bedroom before going downstairs to check on his grandparents, there was a stranger in the house.
I was in bed, I was sleeping. I heard the door click. And so I peeked because I didn't want to get caught being up. I figured it was Grandma or Grandpa coming in to talk to me or something.
That shit crazy now that you say that. Y'all remember being at the parties, like being that kid? Well, I don't know about all y'all, but I was that kid, like, wake up in the middle of a bed in a fucking house. I don't know where the hell I'm at, and I can hear all the grown-ups in there, boom, boom, boom. You hear the music and shit. And there was always that one person that, like, was drunk as hell. He bust in the room, and I was looking. And I would try to hide in the covers, act like I was asleep or some shit. And then you would hear him bust in, like, ooh, somebody get here. Ooh. That was me. I vividly remember moments where motherfuckers bust in. Like, I vividly remember this one moment that I can't even say because it's just too much. It's too much for the internet. But that was some crazy shit. Put it this way, I was seeing private parts. They bust in, I was like, oh shit. Man, that shit fucked me. I woke up like, they nasty here. That shit was crazy.
With one eye opened, to his horror, Dameon realized that it wasn't one of his grandparents walking into his bedroom.
What the hell?
It was a dark figure, a stranger, dressed in a green jumpsuit, holding a shotgun.
I was absolutely terrified. I was scared. This dark green mass of a man pointing a gun. I just closed my eyes and eventually I opened my eyes to peek. And he was gone.
Oh, he was finna blow you away. He just couldn't do it.
This 4-year-old had come pretty much face to face with somebody that had just killed his grandparents.
As it turns out, just 5 miles away from the house, in the Stillwater River, cops recover a 12-gauge shotgun, with the serial number sanded off to prevent police from finding the owner. However, it's very similar to the weapon described in Dameon's testimony.
The forensic examiner was able to restore the serial number.
Detectives review a local newspaper where people buy and sell
that shit go
firearms.
deep. Them serial numbers, boy, you
They
got
find
damn
an
near
older
carved
listing
the
for a
whole gun
shotgun
down.
that matches the exact model of the weapon recovered from the river and listed on March 25th, exactly 2 days before Dameon survived the murders. With this lead, detectives are able to trace the ad to the gun's original owner.
Went to the person's house who sold the Winchester shotgun. I said, do you remember who you sold it to?
His wife brings us a piece of notebook paper where she had wrote down
Who did I
the
follow?
name Greg Myers.
The name shocks the investigators. Since the beginning, Greg seemed like the most unlikely suspect.
Hold on. The son, Greg, what? Greg? Please don't tell me this nigga killed his dad, bro. Please don't tell me, bro.
As a close family member to Dameon himself and to the victims, detectives dig into Greg's past, looking for any signs of motive, and they uncover something concerning. Greg had been struggling at work, and his finances were in serious trouble.
We discovered that Greg was in financially dire straits. His house had been foreclosed on. He'd stopped making payments because he knew he was going to lose his house. And that he really didn't know where he was going to go.
But after
So he said,
looking
"Fuck
into
it,
their
I'm killing
insurance
my dad."
policies, cops discovered that Greg would inherit.
What make you want to get this
after
tattoo
looking-
right here? As a police officer, what make you want to do that? Huh? With the upside down cross. That's what I'm saying. They be motherfuckers out here fucking with the devil strong. You don't even see these motherfuckers. They be like, pull over. That motherfucker got the devil in the car with him. You definitely going to jail. Well, he gonna kill you and get away with it.
Looking into their insurance policies, cops discovered that Greg would inherit the farm if his parents died. Suddenly, the motive
nigga
for the
done put
murder
some shit
becomes
under.
clear, and Greg is now the prime suspect in his father's and stepmother's murders. Only days after the murder, Greg is taken back to the station for questioning, this time with a more direct approach. They ask him about the will and the inheritance, pressing him on whether his financial trouble could have played a
That boy
role
was
in
trying
his
to get
parents'
that
deaths.
money.
Greg is calm, but the tension in the room is clear. The detectives are determined to find out what really happened.
You know you're holding some stuff back.
I'm trying to be as honest as I can.
You gotta be one of them slow motherfuckers. I don't think I'm gonna tell you. You think I'm lying to you or something? Honest, hey, look, listen here, man. The honestly thing I can tell you, bro, I have literally been going to work dire straight, fucking my fucking life up, dude. Everything in my fucking life is shit, bro. You think I'd kill my fucking father, dude? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Yeah, he one of them slow motherfuckers. You did that shit because you was trying to get that money because they got that money saved up until they die and it's in their will and you know you're going to get a piece of that cake. But guess what, nigga? You just gave your cake back to your little brother because, nigga, you going to jail.
Greg, I don't think you are. I really don't. Okay? I really think you know something about this, and I really think you have knowledge. You do.
No.
You do.
No, I do not.
Yes, you did.
I know you've asked people for a gun because you want to kill your dad. Okay?
Got quiet. He got quiet.
Okay? You didn't hurt him, so you got some remorse.
With only circumstantial evidence pointing to Greg, though, a first-degree
that
murder
funky
charge would be tough to
motherfucker.
prove in court. However, upon later searches of the river where they had uncovered the shotgun, comes something even more disturbing: a suspicious, floating trash bag tied shut. Inside the bag is one item perfectly matching Dameon's description: a green jumpsuit. The
That
bag
nigga
also
didn't even
contains
think to
more
burn
Dameon
it?
evidence. Latex gloves with a fingerprint on it later matched to Greg, 12-gauge slugs exactly like those used in the murders, and tennis shoes 2.5 sizes.
This nigga dumb as hell. He put everything he did at the fucking crime scene in one bag and said, fuck it, I'm gonna throw this in the river so it can flow and stop and get a solved murder. What the fuck? Motherfuckers think when you throw something in the river or some shit, like it just disappear. No, that motherfucker gonna keep flowing until something stop it. Oochie coochie swag, you done.
Smaller than Greg's feet, but exactly like the footprints found at the window where the killer entered the farmhouse.
Sergeant Mark Whitaker called and informed me they made an arrest and that it was Greg. And I just went to my knees on my kitchen floor.
Nigga didn't even try to make it
cried
sing.
my eyeballs out because I was so close with him. That hit me like a rock.
Rock bomb, dude.
Around him of all people.
I just didn't believe that Greg could do that.
In April of 2004, Greg Myers goes on trial.
Oh, he getting fucked over in jail. Look at little Greg, little fat ass. Look at fat ass. Hold on. Oh, fucking fatty. He ain't gonna survive in prison. Yeah, I killed my dad. I didn't get any money. I don't have any money. Yeah, we smacking the shit out you. Hey, show your titties. I don't have titties. Show your damn titties. They making him push him together, calling him fatty, calling him meatball. Yeah, that's what they doing to him, poor chop. That's fucking crazy. You killed your daddy, stupid. We don't like you no more, bro.
For the first-degree murders of his father, Jack, and stepmother, Linda. Despite the overwhelming evidence against him, Myers pleads not guilty. His entire family filled the courtroom: sisters, brothers, and family friends who had once gathered
Just
for
the fuck
joyful
you
family
is.
occasions. Now, they sat in shock, witnessing the man they thought they knew on trial for murder.
Seeing Greg, he didn't show remorse for anything. He didn't look at any of us.
That little motherfucker
On
evil.
April 27th, 2004, after just a few hours of deliberation, a Dark County jury found Greg Myers guilty of 2 counts of aggravated murder.
Greg Myers is sentenced to 2 life terms without the chance of parole.
It was hard because I so couldn't believe
Catch
that it
him
was
when he's smiling right there. Wipe that motherfucking smile off your face, little boy. You going to jail. You going to jail. You going to jail. You going to jail. Yeah, we locking your ass up.
Greg. I still felt like
Locking
there's
your
no way
ass up.
sometime I'm gonna wake up from this dream. I just never.
Where the fuck was you at? Where the fuck was you? You talking about some whole other shit. Where were you at? Because your son was in the house. Was you there? Will you live there too? Because if she lived there, I'm gonna leave her alone. If she lived there, I'm gonna leave her alone. She probably was at work. But if you wasn't, where the fuck was you at? When motherfuckers was letting go shells and shit in the house, buying guns and shit, huh? You the mom. Fuck. That's your brother that done killed your daddy. For real.
There's no way sometime I'm gonna wake up from this dream. I just never would
No.
have thought he could do anything like that.
To know that he did this
That's crazy,
all
bro.
out of greed, that cuts like a knife.
It was terrible, and I hope he regrets it a lot. He deserves to be there for the rest of his life for taking them from us.
With Greg Myers convicted and justice finally served,
Fuck.
Dameon's long nightmare finally comes to an end. During the investigation, Dameon was kept from his mother, and with his grandparents gone, it was difficult to stay strong. But detectives worked tirelessly to uncover the truth, save Dameon, and make sure his family got justice. The 4-year-old showed immense bravery for such a young boy, inspiring everyone around him. Dameon was able to reunite with his mother,
ain't getting no
Amber,
money.
and in a bittersweet turn of events, fulfilled the plan she had made with her family.
Man, fuck all that, man. Did he get some money? That's what I'm saying. He need a good, like at least a little 100,000. Something in that area. He need a bag for this. Cause for real, his grandparents, his parents, that's basically his parents. They was taking care of. He was living with them. He had a whole room in the house, everything, and they gone. Dead. Cold-blooded murder. Blood everywhere, flies everywhere. He needs some money, straight up. Toss him some money.
That same year of the murders, the little boy finally moves in with her and starts kindergarten at his new school, supported by the loving memory of his grandparents.
I was finally able to get Dameon back home. I can't put into words what that was like.
I think about this boy every day because it's just one of those cases that you can't dismiss it out of your mind.
Dameon now is 22 years old, and he's doing amazing.
He probably like the
He did
town
great in
hero,
school.
kinda. He the town. He probably like the town mascot type. You know, it's always that one guy that get hurt or something in football, or he got hurt at a young age and did something, and then like the whole town know him forever till he get like grown as fuck, and then they kind of just like brush it off because by the end somebody else that got hurt. Yeah, he probably the little town mascot.
Grown up to be a hard-working, great young man. We're all proud of him. We all love him very much.
Jack and Linda were the heart and soul of the family, the glue that blended their family.
Yeah, put that cake in your mouth.
In their own way, they found strength in each other, a love and closeness that doesn't always follow the rules of a typical family, but still holds throughout time and any adversity. The Myers legacy lives on through Dameon himself. Now a young man, he carries forward the love, strength, and spirit his grandparents instilled in him. Despite the darkness of the past, he
That shit
honors them
crazy.
every step, making his family proud.
Yeah, memory of Jack and Linda Myers. I'm on mom, nigga. Damn, that shit crazy though. To see all that and then have to grow up. Yeah, you still gotta live life after seeing some shit like that. Man, fuck. My grandparents.